Starburns Audio.
Thank you for listening to the Starburns Audio Podcast Network. We have so many great comedy shows to add to your playlist. Just last week on Starburns Audio, on the Season 2 premiere of Humans Who Make Games, Adam Conover talks to comedian Ron Funches and Jean Goudon, creative director of the Assassin's Creed series. On Boogie Monster, Kyle Kinane and Dave Stone share a perfect recipe for the quarantined cook. This week on Profiles and Eccentricity, they cover the history of the Coruscant Unity cult, folks for whom a flat earth is ridiculous because they believe it's really a concave shell. Search Starburns Audio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any podcast platform for our full list of shows, featuring hosts like Joe Coy, Amanda Seals, Jessica Chobot, and Jackie Johnson. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Starburns Audio. Enjoy the show. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep laughing.
It's a good show.
Dan and Ren and Jay will share tales of folks so unaware they lack in grace and sometimes choose the life they choose will make the news. Breaking down each epic fail in Florida, there's half-price bail. I'm happy to say they couldn't make this up. So listen to our podcast jam with co-host Arm and Dan. Benders, don't be a jerk, cause when the music hits, the funny hits, and we are gonna take you down. Stick around. Make a sound, hunker down, it's Dumb People Town.
Hey, Townies, welcome to another episode of Dumb People Town. Population you. Population Roastmaster, Jeff Ross. Oh, Jeff
Hi,
Ross.
everybody.
I am so happy that we spent really the last week with you.
Yeah, bud.
Getting to see you in your true element, doing what you do so well. As the Roastmaster, I just watched the Bruce Willis roast, which if you haven't watched it yet, go watch it online. It is, I've seen you in a lot of roasts.
Yeah.
I wouldn't fuck B. Arthur with her dick is one of the greatest jokes
I
of all. I wouldn't fuck Courtney Love with B. Arthur's dick.
Holy shit, I wouldn't, Sandra Bernhard, holy shit, I wouldn't fuck you with B. Arthur's dick.
There it is. Okay, sorry. We got it wrong. That I'm still saying that's one of the best jokes ever. I thought you in this Bruce Willis roast, you were on your game like I've never seen before, and it was maybe one of your best roasts.
Thanks.
I thought so. Watch it online, and then the new season of Roast Battle. Which we'll get to that. Let's get into that in the next segment. I really will get into it because we got Dan here, we got Jet.
And I have an exclusive on that I just found out.
Okay,
nice.
great. So we'll release that here, guys. We believe that the world is getting dumber, Jeff, and you're out in the world. You have to admit that global warming and
global roasting.
So let's globally roast some dumb people as we get these great stories sent to us by our dumb ears on the ground. Dan gets them. We don't know them. We've never heard
Jeff's
them. Jeff's never heard them. Dan
Right.
barely knows them. So let's get into one.
You ready?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Here we go.
Smarten up the world.
Sent in by Dan Leon or Leon. Depends on how fancy you want to get with
You got
it.
a little French. Is
it
it the
at-
Kings of Leon or the Kings
It's
of
Kings of
Leon?
Leon. It is Kings of Leon. A lot of people don't know that. It's just Eagles and it's Kings of Leon.
Okay.
It's not the Eagles.
No. Great.
At Designer 1973.
Yes.
Love those 1973 designs.
A 45-year-old person.
Doylestown, Ohio. On name alone, you're like, bat shit.
There's dumb.
Not the people or the town, but just it went bad.
Something's gonna happen. Like Doylestown, Ohio. What comes to mind of that is just like 8 different Waffle Houses, like within like a block of each other.
Where's Doylestown in relation to Columbus, I wonder?
I don't know.
Ooh, that's a good
That's a
question.
good
Like,
question.
where is this place? Like, how dumb is it?
South.
As you get further from Columbus, It's gonna it just get starts dumber. getting dumber.
A bad decision by 2 men to hop onto a CSX train led to a bizarre 911 call from one of the trespassers as the train rumbled from Huron County to Wayne County.
By the way, if you were a hobo in the 1920s and you jumped a train and one of you didn't make it, that was it.
You weren't calling 911.
No.
You weren't calling anybody.
No, you were like, bye, Louie.
And it is one
Thanks
of
for
those,
the block of cheese.
It is one. Yeah, that's one of those things where you throw your stuff on the train first, and then you try to hop on, and like if that guy doesn't make it, you got a whole new set of stuff. Is it? Am I like the only one here who thinks it's amazing that train hopping still happens?
I
In
can't
this
imagine.
day
None
and
of you
age.
have done it.
No.
None of you have ever hopped on a
Have
train?
you ever hopped on a train?
No, but there's a lot of train yards in Rochelle, Illinois.
Sure.
obviously
He
where
grew
I'm
up
from.
like north of Chicago.
And a lot
yeah.
of people go and like play on the trains. You're not supposed to, obviously you're trespassing. You're not supposed to do that.
Movies make it seem like it's super easy to do.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, as a New Yorker, I've seen people do very, very provocative, like dangerous things on subways.
Yeah, me
So
too, in
imagine
Chicago.
if you don't live near a subway, you live near a train. You get used to
I bet if the subway walls weren't so close to the train and someone could just like ride it, hang on the outside, they would do it.
Right.
If they're like, I'm late for work,
100%.
I'll do that up for like 2 stops.
The problem is a lot of people around the world, around the country, have nothing to live for. So they're like, yeah, sure, I'm going to
Anything's
jump a train.
possible.
I'm
Yeah.
going to jump a train.
And
What's the worst that can happen to me? I still live.
yeah, right. I got to go to work tomorrow.
It
my
works
shitty
out.
job or
Yeah.
find a job. Or whatever.
investigators said that Christian Hale,
The Christian Bale of
Christian
hobos.
Hale, and Kevin Sloan. It sounds like 2 porn dudes, right?
Hale and
Christian
Sloan.
Hale and Kevin Sloan.
Hale and Sloan could also be your like 5 p.m. eyewitness news team.
Oh, 100%.
Kevin, Christian
Back
Hale
before they let women read that sort of thing. I'm Christian Hale.
with the weather.
They jumped onto a moving train in Willard around 4 a.m. Tuesday. What? This is what you're saying, like with nothing to live for. What are you doing at 4 a.m. on a Tuesday in a train yard?
Right.
Unless you're like 17.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what you aren't doing is like making
Talking
sure
to your
your
dad?
kids gas.
Yeah, right.
You're not having a fulfilling relationship with the people who raised you?
Yeah. It's not like, let me get my taxes done or hop this train.
I got 2 options here. What am I doing?
Yeah.
When the train picked up speed, the men couldn't get off and hung onto the outside of the 2 cars for up to 60 miles.
Wow.
That's a long time
To hold on
outside
to
of
the
train.
outside. You know
of a
what this
train.
is reminding me of? All these like ridiculous stunts that Tom Cruise does himself.
Right.
Have you seen the new Mission Impossible?
He's
I heard it's
hanging on a
great. It's
plane.
It's great. I saw it last
Have you
night.
ever roasted Tom Cruise?
I've done a roast with Tom Cruise.
Where you got to get some jabs in? Do you remember your Tom Cruise
I can't remember my
jabs?
Tom Cruise jokes, but I do remember we were roasting Matt Lauer in New York, a Friars Club roast, not televised. And Tom Cruise and him had a famous
Feud on camera.
feud
yeah.
on the Today Show.
Yeah.
About
psychology.
psychology
Yeah.
helping people who have postpartum depression. And he went
And
after
what a
him.
great memory. And I remember Tom Cruise came out as a special guest. I can't remember the
Whoa.
jokes. I can't remember the jokes. But
If
I remember,
Lauer didn't like a joke, did he hit a button underneath the desk
Exactly.
and lock himself in?
Yeah.
No, but that is the plot of the next Mission Impossible.
Spoiler alert.
Tom Cruise gets locked in Matt Lauer's office.
He's got to get
and
out.
He's just sexually harassing him until he can get out.
Just got to get out.
Because Lauer has a mission for him, should he choose to accept
Should
it.
you
Yeah.
choose to
and
accept?
it's not possible.
You know what? Even if you don't choose to accept it, I'm locking the
Get
door.
on your knees.
Yeah. The men couldn't get off the train and hung on to the outside of it for 60 miles.
Jeez.
Wayne County Captain Doug Hunter. He's a cop named Doug Hunter. Estimates
He also
speeds-
just hunts Doug.
He's Doug the
Bounty Hunter.
Yeah.
the train jumper spotter
Yeah.
hunter.
He says that the train reached speeds of up to 40 to 50 miles per hour hanging onto the outside for 60 miles. That's endurance.
That's over an hour. They're hanging on for over an
Yeah.
hour.
That's hand strength. That should be the new American Ninja Warrior.
Near Doylestown, Hale frantically dialed 911 and explained the confusing situation to the dispatcher.
So they have cell phones with service.
Right.
They can't be they're not hobos.
No, they're just
Why
guys.
not? It's a modern day hobo. These millennial hobos have fucking cell phones, man.
I like how the police account is like the 2 men. Like if you actually saw a picture of these guys, you'd be like, men? They're probably barely hanging on as human beings.
In every sense. The train
Man is-
and life.
Man is too complete.
Quote, I'm on a train, he said. This is Christian Hale. The dispatcher responded, you're on a train? Yeah, it's going really fast, and I don't know where it's going. I wanted to play some of this 911 call.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Oh, this is him on the train hanging on.
It's so obvious what he's saying is what's going on.
Okay.
The dispatcher.
Let's hear it.
18, 4, 52, 54.
All right, Siri, get to it.
911, what's your emergency?
Me and my friend stepped on the train because we like kind of jumped on it. And the train was like going really fast. And I really don't know where we're at or where we're going.
It's too much
Okay,
explanation.
I'm sorry. What
By the way,
happened?
he said we kind of jumped on
a
it.
train.
Kind of jumped on it.
kind of jumped on it as like
we won't admit guilt yet. He's just trying to see if they can get out of it.
I kind of forgot that I have to do this thing.
Right.
Like
I kind of did the dumbest thing ever.
And I'm going 45 miles per hour.
I'm kind of in a Woody Guthrie song.
Kevin Spacey, I kind of laid on Anthony Rapp. No,
Yeah.
you
Good.
did. You did. You
didn't
didn't kind of do it.
You
You
made a
definitely
choice.
And I can't get off.
Kevin Spacey, ignore this guy.
You're going really, really fast, and I don't know where I'm going.
I don't know where I'm going. It's the
Okay,
truest
you're
thing he's
following-
ever
How does
said.
he not? How do you not hear the
Vehicle or-
train in the back of that?
No, I'm on a train.
You're on a train.
Yeah, and it's going really fast, and I don't know where it's going.
Okay. Do you work for the company or?
This is like, I mean, the dispatcher is doing the best he can.
Is he? I feel like
He's
he
trying to
couldn't
ask why
give
he's
two
prolonging this
shits.
call.
I can never tell if they're
Dan,
trained to be
Dan.
so calm or they're just people who
but
are like, I
he's
don't
saying
fucking
I'm
know.
on a train that's going really fast. There's no way the dispatcher thinks that he's on the
Like he's
hanging
talking to a
off.
4-year-old. He's like, good for
hanging
you,
off a
buddy.
train.
Way to go, buddy.
But the most true thing he said in that whole thing is, I don't know where I'm going. Like, at all. In life,
Yep.
on this train.
It sounds like a John Mayer song.
Yeah.
I've hopped on this train. It's going really fast, and I don't know where I'm going.
There you go.
He said, yeah, it's really, that's literally the quote, and I don't know where it's going. Hale, who told the dispatcher he was scared, gave an unusual answer when the operator asked him why he was on the train. Quote, it's better than walking. It scared the shit out of us.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. Why are you on the train? It's better than walking. How'd that work out for you?
It scared the shit out of us.
Yeah. The fact that the person was able to call 911 while he's hanging onto the outside of a train. Imagine. You call, man. You call.
I can't reach my
I'm out
phone.
of minutes. I need you to call.
You want me to call?
I have
What's the
rollover.
number? It's 9. I can't hear you.
Right.
What?
They said that that's very unusual, Doug Hunter said. The dispatcher notified CSX, which stopped the train at the Whitman Road crossing in Chippewa Township. However, the train hoppers took off. They were like, let's get out of here.
Smart.
Deputies found them about a mile away, and a body camera video captured their arrest. They were charged with trespassing. In the back of the cruiser, Christian Hale told the deputy he only planned to ride through Willard. So he's just looking to cut through town.
Yeah, it's just a little ride that could end my life.
I thought it was going to stop in Willard, and it didn't. I don't know if he's talking about the train or his life.
I thought my life was going to stop in Willard, and now here we are. Here I am. I'm still here.
I should have never gotten on the train. I know it was a stupid idea, and I never should have did it. I wasn't going to, and I never will again. Well, you did. You weren't going to, but you did it.
Yeah.
You don't get to go back and be like, I wasn't going to. Yeah,
No,
you were.
You don't get to do a why.
Yeah,
I wasn't
you
going.
were.
Bad grammar is also a train he can't get off of.
According to Operation Lifesaver, Ohio ranked 11th in the county in railroad trespass casualties in 2015 with 15 deaths and 13 injuries. Before we get out of here, I'm going to ask you guys, how old do you think Christian Hale is?
Now, we heard his
what
voice.
chapter in his life do you think he is?
Where
right
is
now?
this guy?
I already know.
You already
Okay.
tell us
Okay.
how old.
19.
19 years old.
And why? What's the logic for 19?
It's why, because every time I look, well, saving a couple bucks, maybe doesn't have a car, but also like when they say man, and then you look at it, it's like, oh, it's a boy who's just old enough to be called a man.
All right,
That's
Jason
it.
or Randy?
He's a
Old
man
enough
in the
to
eyes
vote.
of the law, but not in anybody else.
Old enough
Right.
to vote.
Right.
All right, I'm going to say the guy's 28. I think he's a little more than that.
Okay.
I think he's lived a
I
little
think
life.
he's right
I
in
heard-
between. I think he's 23.
23 years old, probably has 2 kids.
Okay, so 23 from Randy.
19.
19 for
19
Jeff.
for Jeff.
And I don't even usually make jokes about trainees, but I know it's not politically correct
In this day and age.
to make fun of trainees.
By
By the way, it's his,
transitioning.
and he's transitioning.
He's transitioning from one town to the other, from one end of the town to the other.
But his life stays in the exact
He
same
identifies
place.
as a guy in Willardsville.
All right, Townies, get your answers in right
Shout
now.
at your earbuds.
Because Christian Hale, the man on the train,
is
20 years old.
Oh,
Well
Jeff
done,
Ross.
Jeff. And
Jeff
here's a
Ross.
picture of the two of them. He's the guy on the right, and you were exactly
right. The
Yes.
facial hair is the only thing that makes you say he could be a man.
Right.
You are 100% right.
Yeah, I've
Jeff
seen
Ross
this.
knows people.
He
I've
looks
seen this
like
before.
a mop has been turned upside down.
It's amazing what few decades of sizing people up. Dude,
Dude, that's what roasting is all about.
I don't even need to see him at this point. The other night, I was on stage with Craig Robinson at the Improv, and he's playing piano, and he likes to do this bit with me called Spot Roast, where I turn around, face the wall, and he talks to people in the audience, and I roast them without
even looking at them. This is like blindfold roasting.
And I always do the same joke. Sounds fat.
Works every time. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the roast battle this season. Jay and I were a part of it with Jeff Ross. This is Dumb People Town. Stay with us.
It's a trying time that challenges all of our basic assumptions. However, one thing that brings us all together is our common humanity. Now, more than ever, teams must come together and work together to solve big challenges. And Trello is here to help. Trello, part of Atlassian's collaborative suite, is an app with an easy-to-understand visual format. Plus, tons of features that make working with your team functional and just plain fun. Teams of all shapes and sizes and companies like Google, Fender, and even Costco all use Trello to collaborate and get work done. With Trello, you can work with your team wherever you are, whether it's at home or in an office. No matter what device you're using, computer, tablet, or phone, Trello syncs across all of them, so you can stay up to date on all the things your team cares about. Keep your workflow going from wherever you are with Trello. Try Trello for free and learn more at Trello.com. That's Trello.com. Trello.com.
Hey guys, welcome back to Dumb People Town. We have Jeff Ross, who is a wonderful follow on Instagram. I follow him. He is the real Jeffrey Ross. And the real Jeffrey Ross on Twitter as well, right?
And real Jeffrey Ross.
Real Jeffrey
I added
Ross.
the for Instagram.
For Instagram.
One day I'll straighten all this shit out.
No,
either
he's
way,
great
just
on
follow.
Twitter as well. Follow him. We had so much fun, and I want to thank you because you really were like, I have an idea. This is a while back. He's like, I have an idea. I want the two of you guys to roast each other on the roast battle. And we were like, wow, we have never roasted anyone before, let alone get super personal with each other and roast each other.
Right.
And you were, I'm not going to say what you said to us, but you were like really specific about how you wanted us to go at it and go at each other. And we took it as a challenge, but also like a challenge from our friend that we've known for 20 years.
Yeah.
We're like,
we chose to believe that you believe in you. You were like, I believe in you guys, and I know you can do this. We didn't necessarily think that, but we like decided to trust your instinct.
Thank you, guys. You know,
so glad we did.
Been watching you guys a long time. You're so funny, and we're trying to put the battles together. And this season is dream battles.
Yeah,
and there aren't a lot of spots. So I was like, the Sklars could do a tag team or team up, or then I keep going in my head. Boy, it kills me to give, two people who are dying to roast, who've been roast battling, to not have that spot open. But then I go, well, it's nice to have headliners on the show, and you guys are headliners. And I think basically you having your own battle
was amazing.
Is and then the whole thing is, well, who's the funny one?
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, and
you prove that you're both hilarious.
Thank you. Well, here's the thing that I love, and this is what's great, is that if you look at our act and you've watched us do stand-up for, like I said, 20 plus years, that's not what we do in our act specifically. There are moments where we get on each other, but that's really not what we do. So to be able to have established a career in several stand-up specials and a whole thing, and then do something completely counter to it it's amazing. It feels like it was a setup for this. Like our whole career is a setup for this moment.
I love that.
Which I'm not overplaying it. It was one of the coolest things we've done. And
it's a week later, and I'm still riding the high of that experience. It could not have gone better.
The laughs were huge.
Thank you. And we did not know what it was going to be, and that was part of the joy. I can't remember. It was like there was a time
you guys were nervous.
We were.
First of all, I put it out there during a live roast battle here in L.A. that wasn't televised, that we do for fun every Tuesday at the Comedy Store, and you guys were judging as you often do. And I've been percolating this idea in my head, and I hadn't really run it by Comedy Central, but I knew Brian Moses would be into it. And
he was.
And you're part of the roast battle tribe.
Yeah.
So I go, how do we get these guys on the show? They're experts in roast battle, even though they don't roast. I also don't really roast in my stand-up, but I know how to roast.
That's right.
To me, I go, well, these guys are.
We'll figure it out.
It's not about whether you're an observational comic or a impressionist or a joke. Like if you have timing, you can roast.
You can.
And if you
can
have
write good jokes, you can roast.
And if you have a singular worldview, or even in your case, whatever, a double worldview, or a if you know how to work a room, roast battle will work for you. And you guys have all of those tools in your tool belt, so I figured it would work.
What I love is what it further shows, and this is, we spent a whole career trying to say, look, we're not a gimmick. We're both really funny. Like, if it's just one of us judging the roast battle, you're never like, oh, this isn't going to work because the other one isn't here. You're like, no, this is going to be funny because Randy's funny or Jason's funny. We know. And we know that we are funny individually, and it takes someone to know us really well to say, like, I know these guys can be funny individually. I know that on their own, they will bring the fire. And so when we put that in a battle together, it'll be incredible. All right, so do you know when our thing is airing?
Yes, it'll air a week from Tuesday.
Okay, so this drops
tomorrow.
Right.
A week from
a week from today when this drops. Yes,
at 10 o'clock at night.
Okay.
So there you go.
I will say to you guys,
watch the whole series.
DVR the whole series. Jay and I were like, we
premiere tonight on Comedy Central.
Jamar
Neighbors versus Yamanika Saunders.
One of the best battles I've ever seen.
Unbelievable.
That's tonight.
Battle. That's New York versus LA. That is two people who
just bring it,
who own the stage when they step on.
They
that
were
stage.
Amazing. It was incredible. And then
we came back and watched them all.
Yeah, Jay and I were like had talent passes. We snuck back in to go see the other battles.
Your family, roast battle family.
All right,
but then next week when you guys do it, when you guys agreed, it gave me the idea to do a family-themed episode.
And Joe List and his wife.
So the battle before your main event is Joe List and Sarah Tolamash, and it's a hilarious battle. I'm not going to tell you the results.
No.
I believe they're still together a week later. Have not gotten confirmation.
We should check.
If anybody runs into those two, please make sure they're okay.
Jeff will pay for their therapy.
I will. We always have a divorce attorney waiting backstage,
which you got to have.
Even for us, even
for the two of us, you had a
roast battle. We have estate attorneys. We have divorce attorneys. We have paramedics.
Paramedics, you got to have.
We have psychologicals, PTSD experts.
They're all backstage. It's like a whole team of people with clipboards backstage, and it's perfect.
Did you guys learn anything about each other or yourselves from the roast battle?
Oh yeah. I mean, it was again. I'm buzzing still just because of the confidence that we were able to show.
Yeah,
it was fun to go at each other.
It was super fun to go at each other. It was super fun for me to just watch him take the floor and hold in the right moment for the joke and then nail the joke. And I was like, that was good. There were a couple times where I was like, that was really good. I don't know what to say. I laughed at some of the jokes.
But we had to be on our toes. I mean, it's great because it felt like the two of us performing, but it was so different.
Who worked harder on it?
Oh, I don't know how hard he worked on it. I worked super hard.
I worked really, really hard. I worked super hard.
Did either of you? Yeah.
I worked super hard into the nights. I think Randy probably came to his set quicker, and he had a couple ready to roll, and I think I had to find a couple more. I had to work a little bit harder, but it was.
Did either of you think about your physical? Am I going to get in shape for this? Am I going to try to look better than him?
No, we just had to be real.
This is what we are.
Be ourselves. It's not going to get much better than this.
Yeah, it was like.
I do think you guys went. The one thing you did was you went. You kept punching after the bell, which I always find enjoyable. And, normally one battler does that and one doesn't.
Right.
So I'll have to penalize, even though they're hilarious, as the judge.
But
you both went over the bell, and then both.
Don't give any more. Don't give away anymore. I don't want to you got to watch it. I want people to watch it. Don't give anything away.
I forgot.
Don't give anything away.
But what I do think is that you guys could probably roast each other a little bit in your stand-up act, and the audience would eat it up.
Hey, by the way, I think we might carry it in, and that's a great idea. All right, let's jump to another story.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jeff.
Great stuff, guys. Thank you for doing
You're the best for believing in us.
Look, these people who listen to this podcast know how much we love roast battle. How many
people we've had on it. We're the biggest proponents of it.
For the first time, we're actually able to say we're a part of it. So every single person who listens to this podcast,
watch tonight, watch every night, and then watch us next.
Comment on it or go to Comedy Central and tell them more because it's a great show.
Are you ready?
Yep. Yeah.
This was sent in by Bob Satnan.
The Bob Saget of
SAT.
By the way, we were up in the belly room one night, and Saget showed up.
Yep.
He was fantastic.
@B_Satnan. All right, here we go. You may have seen cars crashed into houses, but rarely like
Stop.
this.
Stop. I've never seen that.
You've
Have
never
you
seen
ever
a car
that?
crash into a house?
No.
You haven't lived, brother. You need to start hopping trains.
Maybe like in a fraternity movie.
Exactly. but not in
life.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, either way, you've maybe never imagined them like this. Early Saturday, a minivan launched into a home in Newburgh in Ozaukee County. Ozaukee, I don't know. Embedding wheels first several feet off the ground like a toy car stuck onto a birthday cake. I'm going to show you guys some pictures. Look at this car. It's in the second floor.
Oh my!
It's into the second floor of this house.
What?
Yeah.
Show Jeff.
Look at this.
That is.
Huh.
That is
When you leave your house that day to go get, I'm imagining like a Mountain Dew Code Red and a Tombstone pizza.
Yeah.
So you're like, it's not like I'm gonna drive airborne into the side of a house.
You have to try to do that. To me, I think if you tried to do that 50 times, Jeff, you couldn't do that.
I don't understand how did it get
Launched.
air?
It probably
know.
drove up off the curb.
Miraculously, it digs into it. Miraculously, neither the driver nor the man in the bedroom was hurt. Annette Benling,
Annette Benning?
73 years old. So yes,
Could be Annette Benning.
just happened to be in the bathroom when she heard the bang at about 3 a.m. So 3 in the morning, something just makes this woman go pee.
She's like,
She was up.
73.
73.
I mean, you got
You're
the
like a
full. Jeff
sibling.
used to live with your grandfather.
Yeah. She,
You know the timing of old people. They got to get up in the middle of the
Right,
night to
odds
be.
are-
my cousin Aaron's here. He's how old? 69?
71.
71.
You look
How
good
many
for
times
70.
do you pee a day? A night?
Three or
4 times a night.
Drinking a lot more.
A lot more. If he's
So
drinking
the odds
a lot
are
more.
it'd be more. The odds are less that she'd be in bed.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Obviously, we'd be
Yeah.
shocked if she was
She's
laying
like-
in bed, not peeing,
No,
middle of the night.
She's up in
and-
the bathroom, and then all of a sudden a car comes through their bedroom.
Well,
window.
her 78-year-old husband Ken was still in bed, but she couldn't open.
To me, I want the article to be like, he did not wake up.
No,
He slept through
Ken's
it.
still asleep. At the time of writing this, Ken is still asleep.
Slept through it.
But she couldn't open the door to the bedroom because the impact had shifted the entire frame of the whole room.
Oh,
Yeah,
my Lord.
it's a van coming through the middle of the house.
And it is stuck. Not just, I thought it was going to be like the
just
front
the front of
two
the car.
No,
wheels
it's like
and the back
stuck
is hanging
into
out.
it.
No, it's like as if you were to take the
Wheels
car
first.
wheels first and jam it into
The
a house.
underside of the car is into the house.
Wait, are you confusing Bruce Willis's entrance at the roast?
Yes.
on the
This.
motorcycle? That would have been unbelievable if he went up into the backdrop. That
Cool.
would have been hilarious.
Quote, finally, we got it open, she said. That's Annette. He was pretty shook up. Not himself, he said, or she said. Then her husband says, there's a car in the bed. Ken, we get it.
Jesus.
Quote, I could
There's
see the
a
wheels.
car in the bed.
She goes, I could see the wheels. It was on my side. I would have been dead. So the car is like next to Ken in the bed.
Oh my
It's the most excitement in that bedroom in years.
Ken was covered in oil, though, because the Mazda minivan had struck a 4-foot rock retaining wall on its way up that tore the engine and transmission apart. So it lands in the house and is just shooting out oil and gasoline.
So he's lubed up. They could have sex for the first time. in
right
these-
there.
Honey, I think we're good. Okay,
I've never
Ken.
been this excited.
Okay, Ken. It tore the engine and transmission apart, said Yamon Inglis. I don't know. That's some guy with Lancer Garage and towing of
Yamon
Belgium.
Inglis, I believe, opens for Gabriel Iglesias.
Yes, you're
I
right.
think he used
on the
to.
road.
They ask you, they say that, Jamon Ingles, and you're like, see. Yes, I do.
See, I do.
The sheriff's office had called and given a detailed description. That's what Yamon said. But when I got to the scene, I could hardly wrap my head around it. You want me to come tow a car? Yeah, we'll be right there. What the?
How do you pull that off out of
How
the
do I get
house?
it out of the house?
He said, we've pulled a lot of cars, even semis, out of buildings, but never that are completely off the ground. Now, this is where it gets fun. The driver, Elva Richards of Wabika, was still in the driver's seat, unconscious or in some sort of altered state when a sheriff's deputy arrived. When he came to, he removed his seatbelt and then just proceeded to fall or jump 15 feet to the ground. The guy was like, he's stuck into the car. He takes it off, just looks at the ground. Is like,
All right,
hey,
I'm
yep,
going
why
down.
not?
right. This is my.
And he actually could have walked down the steps.
Oh, completely.
Exactly.
He could have just
It's
gone
like,
through
this
the
is
bedroom.
where I get off.
Meanwhile, Ted Kennedy is somewhere going like, I wish there was a house blocking,
Yeah, right.
blocking the lake. If that was the problem, I'd be fine. I'd have a whole different life.
Wow.
I'm going to show you guys a picture of what he looks like, and it's very...
The guy who drove.
Yeah, Alva Richards. And he just looks like he's like, what? What? I didn't do it. First of all,
He's totally
I can't tell if he
unfazed.
needs to shave or just shaved.
Yeah.
Look at him.
He's
had a normal night.
First of all,
He looks
great.
like everyone
and
who's
Jeff-
ever
Jeff,
done improv
Jason-
at UCB.
Right. Jeff, Jason, and I are like great head of hair. First things first, like
I'm
insanely
jealous
good.
of this
I'm
guy.
jealous of the guy's hair.
How does that guy
It's
get
a
good
waste of a beautiful head.
a beautiful head of
great
hair.
hair.
Richard told the deputy he smokes marijuana daily and eats cannabis oil gummies to control his disorder. That's all fine, but
What's
I don't
his
know why
disorder?
you're
Bad
driving.
driving?
What does that have to do with you driving airborne?
It's a very
into the
rare
cent-
chitty chitty bang bang disorder.
Inside the van, police found marijuana and a grinder. Richards is now charged with second-degree reckless endangering safety and possession of marijuana.
Oh boy.
Annette Benine, or Benlein, whatever,
Whatever.
said Richards, who was on his way to work in Germantown, came to her house a day
On his
later.
way to work?
That's what she said.
Wow.
Where does
No,
he
no,
work?
no. He was on his way to work when he came by her house to apologize.
Oh, okay.
he
I thought he
came
was
back.
on his way to work when he landed in their bedroom.
She said she
She
feels
said,
bad
"Get
for
out of
him."
my bedroom."
She said the husband was like, "Does this count as a three-way?"
Right. It did, actually, with the car,
Yeah.
but not Alva.
No.
And then she says something to him that could go for any single person we've ever talked about in Dumb People Town.
What does she
Quote,
say?
Annette said, "I just told him, do something good with your life."
Jesus.
That he needs that.
That's like her saying,
that.
make up for it. Make
Yeah.
up for what you just
I love that. What the wisdom of a woman,
73-year-old woman.
Yeah.
do something good
By
with
the way,
it.
our mom is 73 and with it, very with it. I think
and
you've
would
met
say
our
that.
mom.
Yeah, and she gets up to pee a lot.
A
Yes.
lot. 7
It's
to 10
annoying
times a night.
sometimes when I'm trying to.
Hang on a second. She's single.
Jesus.
Hold on.
We're going to get out of here on this.
Uh-huh.
I've shown you his photo. Anybody else can go see his photo first if they
Go
want
to
by
the
going to the
Facebook
Dumb People
page.
Town Facebook page.
That's right.
How old do you think Alva Richards is? And you've seen his photo.
Yeah, now this can be deceiving.
4
Jeff.
a.m. He's driving around. He somehow gets airborne over a retaining wall.
Gummies.
Goes into the side of a house.
How old do you think he is?
We saw his picture.
Yeah.
So he was 29 or 30.
Okay, 29 or 30.
I think he's
Jason?
24.
Jason Sklars says 24.
I think he's 36.
36.
35.
35.
From Jeff's cousin.
All right, Jeff's cousin says 35.
Jeff's cousin. I'm going to tell you right now
Uh-huh.
that one of you is exactly right.
Oh,
yeah.
Now,
Now we get to
we
play
get
the
to play a second game. Who do you think is right?
Exactly right.
Okay.
Well, I said 29 or 30, so
Yeah.
I'm not the winner.
well, one of those numbers could be. You
Okay.
want to
Do you think you're right? Do you think I'm right? Or do you
All right,
think
let's do it again. What'd you say?
I said 24.
Jason Sklar says 24.
I
Randy-
said 36
And
and you
I
said
said 29 or 30.
And
Aaron,
just-
Aaron's
Is
Okay.
he included in this?
yeah, he's one of the
Okay,
guessers.
fine. All right, fine.
I'm just saying you're right.
Okay, fine.
Okay, but he said 35, and you said
I
what?
36. I think
Okay.
I'm right.
Okay.
I think I'm right.
I think it's 29.
Okay.
All right.
All right,
I
ready?
think Jeff's right. I think it's 29.
Guys, get your answers in right now. all
And
you
who you
townies.
think is right?
Wherever you are, yes.
Here we go.
Because Alva Richards is 35 years old.
Oh, Jeff's cousin.
Jeff's cousin with
Jeff's
the win.
Wow.
Good
Just
going,
walk-
Aaron.
Aaron
The
just
dark horse.
walks in here
Aaron, the dark
and
horse.
he nails it. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, more with
Designs by Aaron on Facebook.
Designs by Aaron. Follow him. Giving you a plug. Dan, give me a little taste of our final story.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Greg Barrett stole something.
Hey there, Adam Conover here. Humans Who Make Games is my podcast where I sit down with the people who created some of your favorite video games and have the kind of long-form personal conversation we so rarely get to hear. We talk about how they got into the industry, what their favorite games were growing up, and what it's like working in the trenches of this century's greatest new art form. This season, we've got a whole batch of new interviews for you. I talked to Kim Swift from Portal, Alex Preston from Hyperlight Drifter, Anna McGill from Control, and Alex Beecham from the game Outer Wilds. Whether you love video games or you just love learning more about other artists' creative process, I can guarantee you're going to love this podcast. So, you can get Season 2 of Humans Who Make Games wherever you get your podcasts. Take a listen.
Okay.
Yep.
It's, all right. Here we go.
got
We'll
it.
find
Looks
out
like Greg.
after the break.
We'll find out.
We'll find out. It's more Dumb People Town with Jeff Ross right after this.
Hey guys, welcome back to Dumb People Town. We have Jeff Ross with us, who I'm not going to give anything away, but his battle with Blake Griffin, which is also part of this series, Blake
The
Griffin,
latest
friend of our
season
show,
of Roast Battle 3.
is unbelievable.
Thanks.
It is so good and so funny. The visual joke that happens
Jay.
at the beginning is one of my favorite. It was really, really fantastic.
Thank you.
So
Love that you guys came out for that.
Always.
course,
I mean,
man.
My first roast battle. We both did our first roast
I know.
battles
We
this
roasted for the
week.
first time
in a
and
battle.
for being around it and a part of it for so long. I just love this show so much because there are moments that happen, and I don't even know if I've ever gotten to tell you. I forget the guy's name who's in the wheelchair.
Joe Urell.
Joe Urell. So
Eurell.
he wins a battle, and I believe you were there for it. He wins a battle, and he's won a bunch
In L.A. at the Belly Room.
in the belly room, and he gets lifted up by people.
Right.
And they just hoist him in the air like he's the head coach of Notre Dame and they just won the national championship.
Sure.
He gets literally a hero's for his work, for his brain, for his ability to develop this and do this stuff. I think about his parents, and I think like there was probably a moment when his parents were sort of saddled with what was going on with him health-wise and said he'll never have a moment on his own, completely on his own, where he is sort of in the world with able-bodied people and able to compete. And here is this moment. And I think about that at times when I'm not there, and it makes me cry with joy.
Love
that the roast battle is great enough that it is something that can reward. It's almost like Game of Thrones. I watch Game of Thrones and I'm like, oh, this is great because the underdogs really have a chance to win in certain ways. And in roast battle, everybody's equal. You step up to the mic.
I love that.
And they treat you, they don't shy away from your...
Yeah, no, you are going to be treated the way you're not treated with kid gloves.
That's the point of the roasts. And
What's
roast
said in
battle.
those rooms, I feel like out of context would get people into a lot of trouble. But in the context of the roast battle, it's like done out of love. And you know if anybody ever comes with anything mean, the whole room is like, "Whoa, what was that?
That was too mean."
You know what I mean?
That was just mean with no comedy behind it.
Come on, you
People
gotta be
snap.
creative.
But roasting is a very normalizing thing. More and more disabled people will come on stage during my stand-up shows and ask to be roasted along with the lineup that
Yeah.
I'll do.
And you're
Because one of my best friends growing up, Mark Hinkes, my high school pal, he walks with arm braces.
Yeah.
He was in a car accident in high school, and he walks on his arms basically. And the only time he feels insulted is when you leave him out of the jokes.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you treat him differently, he gets offended.
Right.
And
A lot
that's
of people, I
and
think.
people
that.
just like feeling like they're part of the fun.
Right.
Because and Rickles said it the best. You never take down someone you don't love.
Right.
You always take down the people that you love.
Of course.
And
You
you
go.
always say, if you can take it, you're a big person.
Yeah.
And he would say that at the end. And tonight, you guys have been very big to me.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. You assume a lot about someone when you say, I'm going to go into you.
All right, this
Right.
season of Roast Battle, you guys have to
Every
watch.
Tuesday at 10, you guys, for all summer long.
There you go. All right,
Ready?
Daniel, let's jump into this last story.
Sent in by Robert Smirkransky at Matted Blubber.
Smirkansky.
This guy sells his own. He makes his own sausage, Polish sausage that he
sells out of
the
trunk
back of his car.
Right,
Yeah.
but it's overpriced.
It's overpriced.
overpriced.
He's like,
Like,
my
no
wife
one's
made
affording
the
it."
packaging.
Right.
What can I do about it? They're all kind of grimy, but you owe me $5.
Niles, Ohio. Niles police chased down two suspects
Who had just jumped a train.
accused of shoplifting from PetSmart, then escaping together on one motorcycle. So they rob a PetSmart, which is that's a crime of necessity. Why else would you rob a PetSmart? Not of money,
Because the fish needs food.
right? According to the Niles
Your
Police
girlfriend
Department,
is not that attractive.
according to a Niles
Robbed
Police
from
Department-
PetSmart.
or your boyfriend, Facebook page, a call came in around 11:30 a.m. So they're planning
Dude.
this
Daytime.
This is a morning
daytime
heist.
heist of a PetSmart. On Monday to report that two men took a large fish aquarium, then fled on a motorcycle while the back passenger held it. The picture of these two, and you tell me who the driver looks like, even though they blurred his face. I think that's a comic we know.
That does look like Greg Barron a little bit.
Doesn't it?
All right, so the guy in the back has a giant box that
That is
looks
too
like
big to carry
looks like
on
an
the back
old
of a
school
motorcycle.
TV.
These guys look like they work for the band Sublime. Both
Also,
of them.
that's a horrible getaway car. Everyone can see you and identify.
Not
Have you seen
everybody
it?
has a train to jump on.
Yeah,
In Ohio.
Yeah,
in Ohio.
those guys look down on these two.
The getaway
Fucking
cars in the
idiots.
second story of that other house.
Yeah, exactly.
All the stories come together.
It's like a Paul Thomas Anderson movie. It's like Magnolia.
You guys should find your best episode ever and write a screenplay that ties all three stories.
Oh my
together.
God! It'd be Paul
Or
Thomas Anderson.
shorts, like you could do 20 shorts.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the beauty of all these things is that you do feel like the dumbness interconnects all of us in some way.
But you should do drunk history.
Exactly.
There it is.
Right.
But make them tell what they did, but when they're sober.
Right.
They have to admit it.
I don't know. I can't remember. It's just a lot of people saying I don't know what I did then.
Well,
at that point.
I think someone dared me. That'd be a lot of
There's
them.
a lot of that I blacked out.
Right.
But you look at the photo and it looks like if he accelerates at all, that guy's with the box
Flying
off
off.
backwards.
A responding officer saw a motorcycle with a passenger carrying an aquarium. As I said, horrible getaway car.
Horrible.
On Route 46, and then he turned around to give chase. According to police, the passenger got off the motorcycle with the aquarium, dumped the aquarium.
Yeah, at that point.
And began running on West Street. That makes me think this was like a birthday gift. Like, why do you need the aquarium that bad? The cops are after you. Don't try to carry
It's a
something
great
that
question,
huge
Jeff. Why do you
and
need an
keep
aquarium that badly?
I'm going to guess that it had a personal connection.
Of course.
It was an ex-girlfriend's aquarium.
Yeah.
It was Nana's aquarium.
He broke it and he's got to get a new one.
There was a personal mission behind that.
Yeah.
Passenger Mitchell Atkins, 2 last names, was taken into custody, and another officer chased after the driver.
Now, I've been on the Atkins diet, which means you lift up,
Aquariums.
an aquarium, you run from a motorcycle every day.
A lot of
and you only
aquarium
eat meat.
running.
Right. Police say a few minutes later, the motorcycle was found on the ground behind Chef Pang on North Main Street. When officers began to search the area, they found a man they described as nervous-looking behind a home on Franklin Street. Oh, you mean just some random guy hiding behind a home?
Who's that? Oh, that's
Yeah.
the nervous guy in our
Yeah.
backyard. Just don't.
You don't know Nervous Greg?
Hey, honey, does Nervous Greg want to come in for dinner? I made extra lamb chops.
He wants to, but he's got
He's just
anxiety.
pacing.
About
He's got to pace.
This is my favorite part. So they see the guy behind a house, the cops do.
Right.
What are you up to, man? This is what he decides to do. Officers said the man began to furiously prune a small tree with his bare hands.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a gardener. I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm hired by the family.
I do it all by hand, man.
Yeah.
One leaf at a time. You want it done right. It's got to be meticulous.
Wow.
We don't do enough things by hand anymore.
Artisan tree barking removal.
While nervous.
Well, nervous artist.
He told officers he was there to do yard work. He also told the officers he saw the suspect run
Going that
east.
way.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
Dude, you can't
I
be
saw
like,
him go
look,
that
I'm just
way.
working out a tree. The guy you're looking for ran that way. Didn't say we were looking for a guy.
Yeah, no one said that.
Right.
We
The
just
guy-
asked what you're
Listen,
doing.
the guy with the aquarium, he ran that way.
Yeah.
What guy?
No
What
one mentioned the
aquarium?
No one
aquarium.
mentioned
Right.
it. He's got a lot of details.
The fish went the other way.
Aquarium this way, fish went that way.
Police say they didn't buy the story, and the officer who originally gave chase was called to the scene to identify the man who was hiding behind the house. He was the driver of the motorcycle, Christopher Binion. Heir to the Binion? No, I don't know. Both suspects have been charged with theft offenses, and Binion was also charged with multiple traffic charges, including failure to comply. Now, I'm going to let you guys, we saw a picture of him on a bike. They just blurred their faces. Whose age do you want to guess? Christopher Binion?
The driver?
Hiding behind a house? Or,
And
yes,
furiously pruning a tree.
furiously putting a tree,
Let's-
or
let's
Mitchell
guess-
Atkins, who won't give up an aquarium and tried to run with it on foot.
Let's give it to let's do the
Binion.
first one.
Binion.
First
Christopher
one on the
Binion,
bike.
man,
Yeah.
the nervous man behind the house. Okay,
Yes.
you are our guest. Do you want to go first?
I need a little more. Recap this guy. This part. I
Christopher?
want to make an educated guess.
Okay, I will also bring back up the photo.
Yeah.
So he drove the motorcycle, drove the getaway car.
Yep, Christopher Binion is driving the motorcycle.
Let
He's
Jeff's
the
cousin see.
getaway for them on the aquarium.
He looks like Dr. Drew.
He decided to hide behind a house. His best story he could come up with is that he was hand pruning a tree and then tried to tell the cops which direction to go.
This is a guy who's not afraid to wear a sweatshirt with shorts.
Right.
He's 32.
32
Boom.
years old.
That was just
Okay.
straight up. I think he's 37.
37 from Randy Sklar.
This guy's 46 years old.
He's wearing sunglasses in a picture. It's not an easy.
It's not an
This
easy.
one's tough.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm saying 28.
28.
28 years old.
All right, Jeff's cousin, 28.
Okay.
Aaron.
Designs by Aaron.
Okay. And we're and just
1 R.
1 R.
just from we are going with Christopher Binion, the driver, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He is. Oh, let me first say, one of you is exactly right.
Oh, if it's Jeff's
If it's
cousin,
Aaron, I'm walking out of here.
or give him his
Okay,
own podcast on
God
Star.
damn it, man.
We're going to get out of here on this. So tell me right now, who do you think is right?
I think it's Aaron, for Christ's sake.
He's going twofer.
Two for
Yeah. Do you think you're right?
I think I'm right.
Okay.
I think I'm right. 46 years old.
Christopher Benyon.
I said 37.
Get your answers in now, Townie. Is 46 years old.
Yes! He's our age.
I felt it.
What the hell?
Yeah, we're old dudes.
Okay.
That's what
There we go.
It's that simple.
There we go,
Why
guys.
does it want an
The
aquarium
Dumb
that
comes
bad?
at every corner of your life.
That's
Yes.
right. Every decade of your life.
Every
you can do
decade of your
something
life,
dumb.
you can be dumb. It doesn't matter how. Jeff Ross, thank you for joining the show today. So happy to have you on the
Hey,
show.
man.
And look, it's fun to roast dumb, isn't it?
It's fun to roast, period.
Yes, it really is. It really, having gotten a taste in our mouth.
I absolutely
from this
love it.
season,
And I do
will.
think you'll see it in our stand-up act moving forward. Thanks to you, Jeff Ross. Roast Battle again tonight.
Roast Battle 3.
Roast Battle 3, Season 3 tonight. We're next Tuesday.
It's every Tuesday night at 10. Just go ahead
There'll
and
be
season pass it.
a highlight promo for your guys' battle tonight.
At the end of this battle.
nice.
Yeah, so you'll get a little
Watch
taste
tonight
of it
and get a little taste of it for next week. I can't wait. And thank you for giving us the opportunity. And oh shit, we got to get back
Think
to
of the
work.
world of you guys. Thank you.
I love it.
It's a good show.